She baked muffins on the muffin post. The muffin post! The muffin post! Well, if I knew you were gonna be such a big baby about it, I would have made baby cakes.
We will inspect your home.
Warning. Episodes may contain discussion of potentially triggering subjects. Please see the description for more information.
Oh. Am I the whole for telling my husband that I would have never agreed to have his child if I knew he would go back on our agreement? I, 36F, am a neurologist and I absolutely love my patients and my job. I believe there is no greater honor in life than being able to help others. I'm already like, yes, let's fucking go. You're good people. Okay. Hell yes. Hell to the fuck yes. Thank you. The road to my medical degree was not easy and it was paved with many rejections. I was a troubled teen in high school and didn't get accepted into any colleges my senior year. I had to work my way up, starting with remedial classes at my local community college. When I finally got into medical school at 26, I was absolutely thrilled. I met my husband, 37M, in my third year of medical school. We have been married for 4 years now. My husband works in marketing, and I make 3 times his salary. From the beginning of our relationship, I was very upfront that I was unsure about having biological children. My dream was always to adopt from foster care, and my husband seemingly understood this. After his best friend had a baby boy last year, he began to really press me on having children. I was initially very against this idea. Because I was beginning my career, I wanted to wait a few more years before revisiting the topic of children. In August of last year, I found out I was unexpectedly pregnant due to a condom breaking during sex. I was initially considering an abortion, but after many heartfelt conversations with my husband, we decided to keep the baby, and he would quit his job and stay home until our daughter was old enough to start preschool. There were several factors that went into our decision to have him stay home with our daughter. I make significantly more money than him, so financially it just made more sense. I'm in the first few years of my career as an attending physician. After 4 years of medical school and 4 years of residency, I am just starting to practice on my own, whereas my husband has been in his career for 15 years. I was very clear I had absolutely zero desire to stay home and be a housewife. I respect stay-at-home mothers, but my work is my life, and I would go crazy at home all day. This just isn't a lifestyle I want whatsoever. I am not comfortable putting my child in daycare until she is old enough to express herself verbally. As a victim of molestation when I was young, I just do not trust people enough to leave my daughter in the hands of strangers when she would be unable to report abuse or neglect. Our daughter is 9 weeks old today, and I am preparing to return to my practice in a few weeks. This weekend, I left my husband alone with our daughter while I attended a medical conference out of state. The conference was amazing, but when I returned home, my husband began acting weird. Today when our daughter was napping, I pressed him to tell me what was wrong. He absolutely broke down and said he doesn't think he can do this. He expressed how trapped, alone, and overwhelmed he felt all weekend. He now wants me to extend my maternity leave and is talking about trying to get his job back. This made me freak out, and I asked, well, what will we do with our daughter now? He responded by suggesting I leave my practice and work from home. Garbage. Garbage. Straight to the garbage with this man. He responded by suggesting I leave my practice and work from home. I said absolutely not, and he suggested daycare. At this point, I just lost my shit and screamed. If I knew you were going to go back on your promise to take care of our daughter, I would have never had your child. I know I completely overreacted and I would never trade our daughter for anything. I love her so much, but I am so upset with my husband and I'm not sure how to move forward at this point. No, that's completely reasonable. You're not saying that to your kid. You're not saying that you didn't want her. You're saying that if you knew this about your husband beforehand, you wouldn't have made the decision in the first place. You know, as a person, you have made the decision. It's here now. And despite your husband being a spineless, wet noodle, coward piece of shit that is a weak, little, tiny man, not an overreaction at all. This was all extraordinarily well thought out and planned out for how this was going to go. And the second he has to be alone with that kid for 2 days, he folded so fast. The top comment to this post is, "Can you get a nanny?" And then the top comment to that is, "This would totally work. My husband worked from home, but we also had a nanny, so he can visit our daughter a lot during the day, and he was also child-free for working. I, of course, went to the office every day. Our nanny was wonderful. You just have to know exactly what you're looking for and screen for that." Top comment, the number one. The "can you get a nanny" question has 21,000 upvotes. The next one is 6.9 thousand and actually looks like it has some thought put into it. Not the whole. You didn't react. He needs a wake-up call. You only gave him something so enormous and major, his own biological child, because he promised not to destroy your career and trap you as a mother. Now he's discovering that raising a child is nonstop hard work, something you were aware of before you ever got pregnant. Quite frankly, he only has two paths forward. Either he can be a stay-at-home dad and have all the support of a working spouse who comes home to share parenting, or you can divorce him and he can be a single father who gets child support. But he can't trick you into having his child and then claim it's too hard to be a father. And so you have to give up your life and dreams in order to become a supporting character of his dreams. Holy shit. The tonal whiplash going from the top comment to this one. Holy shit. Oh. Am I the hole for robbing my wife's affair partner, which has now led to his divorce? I'm very curious as to why robbing is in quotes here. I, 32, have been married to my soon-to-be ex-wife, 30, Madison, for 4 years. We are currently in counseling, but it is not going to work. About a year ago, I found out she was having an affair by coming home to their clothes in our living room and sounds coming from our bedroom. I feel like this is the worst possible way to find out. I lost it. I was getting my cricket bat out of the front closet when I stopped to think about consequences. I did not want to go to jail. I instead took all their clothes and left quietly. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's phenomenal. I went to a friend's house, but not before throwing all the clothes in a McDonald's garbage can. All right. I turned off my phone, got shit-faced with my buddy. His wife hosed us off in the morning. After I turned my phone back on, I had dozens of calls and texts from Madison. First scared because she got my updated flight information. Then upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was going to be coming home early. Then freaked out that the house had been broken into. Then crazy because she figured out it was me. They just got more deranged. The guy she was with is 5 inches shorter than me and about 60 pounds lighter. So if he had taken my clothes, it would be obvious. He ended up calling his friend to get his spare keys from his... Oh, you threw away his wallet and keys too. Okay. Unfortunately for him, his wife smelled a rat and followed his friend back to my house, where she saw him leaving in oversized clothes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Long story short, she took pictures and she has evidence of his infidelity, which caused their prenup to be canceled, which cost him a lot of money. It is all one big giant shit show. It took a couple of months, but my wife convinced me to try and forgive her. She started going to counseling and we were working our way through it. Until recently. In a counseling session, she said that I was wrong to steal his wallet, phone, and car keys. She said that his divorce is costing him a lot of money and that I should have dealt with it in a more mature manner, that it was my fault. I have never admitted to taking his stuff. To begin with, I was afraid he might call the cops. Then I didn't want to give her ammunition in case she wanted a divorce. Now I just don't care. I told her that her cheating was the reason her boyfriend is getting divorced and that I hope his ex takes everything. I'm still not living at home. I have my own apartment and I am filing for divorce. Now that I know how she feels, it is a kind of slap in the face that she is blaming me for his divorce. Yeah, sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. Maybe you shouldn't have done that because now my boyfriend is having to get a divorce too. And maybe you should have been a bit more mature because this is your fault, actually. It's not my fault for going to Pound Town outside of the confines of our marriage. It's not my fault. This is your fault because you took somebody's phone, actually. Yeah, not the whole. Top comment, the fact that she tried to blame his divorce on you and not the fact that they had an affair says a lot about her. We're doing one more story. And I have to do this one because it's so funny. Am I the hole for baking blueberry muffins for my boyfriend? So for context, for those of you that don't know why this is so fucking funny to me, to explain the level of roller coaster and the bait and switch and the clickbait title sort of nature of Am I the Asshole? I've always used the example of, am I the asshole for baking muffins or like baking cookies for my boyfriend? Is the title. Then it goes into, so I killed my boyfriend's parents, but I baked him muffins to make up for it. Am I the asshole? And now we have a real, actual, literal post where the title is, am I the hole for baking blueberry muffins for my boyfriend? So I, 33F, baked some blueberry muffins with my 15-month-old son for my boyfriend, 34M, to help celebrate his birthday this weekend. Okay. All right. So I made muffins that I knew he'd had before and liked so that I didn't have to buy any extra ingredients as I already had everything to make the muffins. When my boyfriend came home from work, he said, oh, you've been baking, and was happy to see the muffins. But when I told him that we'd baked them for his birthday, he got angry and refused to accept that they were for him and insisted that I'd bake them for our son because the recipe came from a book that had meals suitable for all ages. What? I told him again that we'd baked them for his birthday, but he insisted that I had made baby cakes. Well, if I knew you were gonna be such a big baby about it, I would have made baby cakes. And that it wasn't for his birthday and that he wished I hadn't bothered, as they aren't a treat because they're low in sugar. I'm really confused. I just wanted to bake something for him that we could all eat and enjoy on his birthday, and I've seen him eat multiple of these muffins in one sitting, so thought he would at least appreciate the gesture. Am I the hole? Top comment, not the hole. having an incredibly hard time understanding his reaction, to be honest. Yes. I'd have to assume this is something else and it's being channeled into the muffins. Cannot imagine a 34-year-old man getting pissy over this. Calling muffins baby cakes because they're in a recipe book, not because they're small cakes, is so tantrum coded. Real. You can live now with the knowledge that these cakes, these muffins, these tiny cakes, these little baby cakes, as you so eloquently put them to be, are now absolutely made for you and just for you because you are a wet noodle baby man who is throwing a tantrum because these muffins, the recipe for these muffins came out of a book that says suitable for all ages. I need man muffins for my huge man pee-pee. Give me man muffins. I want man muffins. I'll give you my man muffins. There it is. There it is. There it is, everybody.